Hi, Tammy Johnson here from ESA Connection, and I'm so excited with my guest I have today. This is Tina, Miss Tina. She is amazing. You're going to find out why here in a second. She is from Marmalade Skies Tutoring, and they offer academic support in all the areas and all the things to help learners do better. So, anyways, let's jump into it because we're going to find out a little bit more about how to help students succeed. So, my first question I have for you is, how do students make gains in the academics and the core academic areas? Like how does your program go about that, and what are the keys to helping kids make gains in learning?
We help kids in reading, writing, and math specifically, and those are the core areas. We start with what they don't know yet. So they often come to us with these holes in their foundation. So we identify the holes, we fill up those holes, and that strengthens their knowledge. And then on top of that, we can build a solid foundation of reading, writing, and math. We use something called the Orton-Gillingham method across all these areas. And that means that the instruction that we're giving is multisensory, it's systematic, it's direct and explicit. And it's if it's reading, then it's phonics based. And if it's math, then we're hitting on those core arithmetic curriculum.
I'm so glad you brought up an Orton-Gillingham program and approach. A lot of people don't know what that is. So let's start first of all why a systematic program is what parents should kind of look for and kind of want when they're looking for a curriculum. Why is a systematic program so important?
So what you hear a lot from teachers and tutors is that you'll ask them, what program are you working on, or what program are you using? And what they say often is that they're pulling from different places online, right? And just kind of cobbling something together,
right?
Which is not as effective as everyone does the best they can. So I don't want to say anything for it, but it's not as effective as having a systematic program that that considers the trajectory of the child's development and their language development, or reading development, or math development, and then has these key milestones that the child needs to reach in order to be successful and actually hit the final goal. So that's what you want, is a systematic program that's been really thought through.
And a lot of times I found out that systematic programs are also data driven from being used before and research based. So why is that aspect also important to find in a program?
Well, you need a program that's research based because it proves that it works.
Done. Next question.
Ding.
So, you're incredibly passionate about helping learners.
Yes.
And there's so many out there that need a little extra support. But nowadays there's so many choices and so many options of what parents can spend their money on. So why should parents spend money on tutoring?
So parents should spend their money on tutoring in general because it helps the child to boost their confidence and to solidify the knowledge that they have, as well as grow the knowledge that they have. Now, how we're different tutors. So we don't have one base out of which we hire like college students and then send them to parents. We don't do that. We are the specialists. So I have a very specialized dyslexia background. I also work with kids who have ADHD. I use speech and language techniques, and I have occupational therapy techniques all into each of my sessions. That's why we're called ingredients for learning. All those ingredients. Same with my two specialists that I work with. So that's one. We're specialized. Number two is that we actually focus on the kids who have learning challenges. So if you have a neurodivergent child, come to us. We will help them make significant gains quickly in reading, writing, or math. And that's not something that everybody can do.
So I want to touch bases on that because that is a term we hear a lot, neurodivergent and neurotypical. So what are some key strategies, variables, factors when you're working with a neurodivergent learner that they need to have in their learning program to be successful?
So if you're a tutor and you're trying to teach someone who is neurodivergent thinking, so neurodivergent has had many names in the past. It used to be special education. It used to be exceptional education. Neurodivergent really captures, it's an umbrella term for all of any kind of learning difference, right? Your brain's wired differently when you are neurodivergent, and that's totally okay. It also means, though, that you're not likely to get as much from the general curriculum as everybody else around you, as the child's peers. So your child would benefit from having specific specialized instruction like a tutor. The ingredients that you need to have in your session as a tutor of neurodivergent children Of course, patience. Always,
Always
the big one.
Check, number one.
And then you need to have that Orton Gillingham specific program that you're using. You need things to be multi-sensory. That means you're using your oral, your oral with AU, your oral with OR, your visual and your tactile kinesthetic. All of those learning pieces have to be in each and every lesson in order for the child to fully understand and integrate what you're learning and remember it. Most children who are neurodivergent have difficulty with their working memory and their short-term memory. Yep. That means they're going to benefit from repeated learning. You're going to teach something, the next session, they might say, I don't remember learning that ever. If you're doing it right, however, and using all three learning pathways, that's that oral, verbal, and tactile kinesthetic, and visual, then the child is more likely to stick, for that learning to stick. So those are some key ingredients of successful tutoring.
Wow, you really broke that down really well. So to recap, you really want to find a tutor academic program that is systematic, research-based, multi-sensory, such a key. And what was the other one I'm missing?
Orton Gillingham based.
Orton Gillingham based as well. So those are some key factors you want to look into when you're trying to find a tutor or even a curriculum or program for your child.
Absolutely.
So, wow, there's just so much. You're such a wealth of information and you're really like breaking this down. I don't think that people really talk enough about neurodivergent and neurotypical and how things need to be different and kind of helping parents to understand that. I feel like what you touch bases on this, so I want to bring it up a little bit more, but that is executive functioning. I feel like our now everyone has executive functioning strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes you don't feel your weaknesses until stress comes along, right? We all lose our keys at some point,
true.
Even though we like know where they're at 90% of the time. When we're stressed out, you're going to lose them. So let's talk a little bit about executive functioning, because I feel like that's such a key part of tutoring and helping the children to get gains in the academic areas.
Right. So if you have strong executive functioning, you're going to be able to have successful time management. You're going to be able to have successful organizational skills across every area of your life. That's going to show up in your, you'll have the ability also to not be impulsive, or to be impulsive when you need to be impulsive, right? So it's just this ability to control your body, right? And to control your thoughts, and so that you can be organized, successful, and say what you mean when you mean it. We find that children who have poor executive functioning struggle in the classroom, or struggle when they're learning. And in a classroom, they can get a little bit lost. And even in homeschooling, they can get a little bit lost because parents aren't entirely sure how to. Just learning in general. Yeah. Parents aren't specialists. Teachers aren't necessarily specialists. It really helps to have a tutor who is a specialist and knows how to engage, and also not just to handle, deal with, be patient with those. Right, because patience is a quality that a tutor needs to have, but that's not everything. Our job at Marmalade Skies Tutoring is to make sure that your child walks away with stronger executive functioning skills than when they walked in. So they're not only learning the reading, the writing, or the math, whichever you sign them up for, but we're strengthening their other skills as well.
All right, we're down to our final question. Are you ready? What's your favorite part of supporting learners?
The parents. The parents are awesome. I love the parents. I love our families in general. Working with the kids is hilarious. They crack me up every single time. After every single session, our tutors go into my room, or they go into Miss Taylor's room, or our other tutor, and we say, "You won't believe what happened!" Right? It's
or
such
what
a
they
treat.
said, right?
Or what they did.
What new slang word there's out there, right?
That's the best. I have no cap. That's the best. Thanks very much. Yeah, that's so cringe. My kids are not gonna like that at all. But yeah, so but helping the parents, because the parents are the ones who light up, right? So they come in, they're real nervous. They say, I think there's something wrong with my kid, or there's definitely an area they need help in. Can you help me? I'm not sure, right? And then like 3 months later, they're singing their kids' praises. They can't be happier. They see the growth. They see the trajectory now, a new trajectory where the kid is going to be just fine and excel. And that feeling that the child is as being successful, and the parent is feeling that success, that's what lights me up every morning.
They came in with a problem and you gave them the solution.
That's right.
That's Marmalade Skies Tutoring, everyone. They're amazing. Thank you so much, Tina, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. We're going to give a little wave to everyone and say goodbye. Thanks.
Bye.